Pastor Russ here with Hope for today. It's camp week here at New Hope. Youth sports are in full swing. We have a middle school girls volleyball camp going on. So we have 40 girls. That's the most we can take for that camp in the mornings. And then in the afternoons, we have our basketball and cheer league going on. There's about 224 children participating in that league. One of the things that we do after every one of our practices, we have a spiritual moment. We have a little lesson that we teach the kids. A remarkable story that I read is one of those lessons that we do have taught our kids is about a 9-year-old little boy. His name was Austin Gertwin. And this was back in the mid-2000s, about 2004, 2005, when AIDS was just on a rampage. It was the new COVID at that time. And AIDS started in Africa. And of course, being many of those countries, developing third world countries, there was no cure at that time. There was no real medication for it, and people were dying by the thousands. This little boy, Austin, heard about how many adults were dying and leaving their children as orphans, and so he wanted to do something about that. So he had an idea. He loved to play basketball, and so he had an idea that he would do a little a free throw shooting contest and ask people to sponsor him. So he shot on one particular day. In fact, it was AIDS Awareness Day. He shot 2,057 free throws. And the reason he chose that number, because at that time, that were the number of adults who were dying every day and leaving their children as orphans. And so he did that, and he raised $3,000. Well, it began to spread of what he had done, and he began to do it in other cities, and it began to be done across America. In just a matter of a couple of years, $2 million had been raised by a 9-year-old boy and his dream and his vision to help other people. That money was used to build health clinics, schools, provide clean water, food, and other necessities as well. The point that we made to our boys and our girls in our camps and our girls at our middle school girls volleyball camp is this. You know what? You may be young, but you can do something. And that little boy embodied 1 John 3:18, where John wrote these words. He says, "Dear children, let us not merely say that we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions." And so the challenge that we made to our children was to see what are ways that we can practically show our love to other people. I was amazed at a little first and second grade basketball group that I'm working with at the answers that they gave me. I was absolutely blown away. They were so practical that they could do. As we talked about, how can we love our parents? How can we love our friends? That type of thing. I just want to encourage you and challenge you. Think today, what are practical ways that you can show love, not just by saying I love you, but by actually doing it. God has commanded us to do that, and you can make a greater difference than you ever think.